Welcome to Aussie
and the Scotsman.
Today we're talking the end of Season 2 wrap.
Wow, bittersweet. I'm a little bit, what's the word, teary, sad, emotional.
How have we got to here?
Man, I tell you what, I
still got my job.
Blown away by how much content we have produced this year. I honestly don't know any other and we've monitored and watched and reviewed and seen other podcasts. Nobody puts out 3 podcasts a week, every week, consistently for 10 months since February the 1st till November the 30th. Every week we have 3 podcasts going out on a Saturday morning.
Watched a lot of movies this year, reviewed a lot of films.
We, at the start of the year, we had 3 months worth of movies banked up. Okay, because we don't want to get to a situation where we're under pressure, we have to record and have to edit. Now we're at a position where we literally have maybe 2 or 3 all ready for next year.
Yeah.
Why? Because we've both got busy lives and things happen where we don't watch movies or we can't watch a certain number each week, and we finally caught up with ourselves. So
what are you saying?
So we're changing.
Change number 1.
So here,
announce it.
Well, we're changing the format. So
go on.
Whether we put 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 podcasts up on a Saturday, we don't know. It will be a minimum of 1, and we'll see how we go. If we can get 2 up, we'll put 2 up. But as a minimum, we'll still produce 1 great podcast every Saturday.
And if I can just add, right, which leads me into when I was going to say, I've written you a little bit of a blurb about you. That's exactly it. Because you'd made the commitment at the start of the year, we're going to do 3. I was like, don't worry about it. Just do 1, just do 2. Nah. We said 3. We were doing 3 every week. And that is a credit to you that you held us to that standard. And that was probably the main comment that I've written here, is that you raised the standard. You've made us better. You've driven me mad. You've nearly ripped the friendship apart.
Wow. Can we expand on that a little bit?
Well, I'll expand on that when we go through the movies and when and why it happened. But behind the scenes, credit to you, because you are the bulk of the operations in terms of operations of getting it right? Your talent is certainly more, I'm being silly. You're very good off camera, very, very good off camera. And you've helped me, so thank you.
Operational matters.
No, you are good in front of the camera. I can't carry you every week, but you're very good on the blind side. Very, very good on that show.
That was a fun show. Terrible movie. Worst movie we've ever done, and the lowest rating I've ever done, but that's probably why it was so good.
But that's why it was a good podcast.
Yeah.
Ordinary film. But I went for a walk the other day and had a listen. I thought, Robbie, he's killing me here.
Okay, very nice.
Okay,
so that's why we're going to be having 1 podcast, if not 2. The problem is, I think we'll be
easy on the compliments coming back my way.
That'll naturally flow.
Rightio.
The reason for the 3 is because on our Instagram page, I wanted this 3 consistent weeks. Okay, and
that is ADHD. You know that, right?
It probably is. So this way, we're going to change up as well. If we're talking about more changes,
go on.
We're going to change how we do our videos. We're actually now on YouTube, or hopefully we'll now be on YouTube. We are going to change the way we do our videos. So it doesn't really matter how many we put up. We're going to try and spam you less as well, because we're quite aware that the procedures we had in place, which was the 3 movies plus the 3 clips plus the 3 stories, amount of a lot of shit that you guys have to endure. So we're getting rid of most of that, and we will have 1 or 2 or 3 a week on the movie that we do. And if it's only 1 movie, you're not going to get spammed quite as much.
But also, this is the change, right? We've got cameras, right? For the first time, you're going to start seeing us. We're trying to bring us closer to you. So we're filming now, right? For the first season and a half or 2 seasons, we didn't film.
Also, we want to try. Well, you want to try and do more polls. You want to try and be a bit more active. You want to.
I want engagement. I want feedback. Yeah.
You want community engagement. He loves and thrives. Well, there you go.
Fan engagement. Check the highlights. Fan engagement.
Ron gets his energy. He talked about his coins through the podcast. He gets his energy from feedback.
Correct.
So if you follow, like, comment, he will call me, he will harass me, he will hassle me, which takes me into the next part of it where we did nearly fall out a few times. The amount of spamming, talking of spamming, that you have done to me over this year could drive the Pope insane. It was unbelievable. So we've had a few times during the year where we've had a discussion on air about, you've got to stop all this relentless spamming. Yeah. And you did and you didn't. And then towards the end of the year, it happened again, and we had a bit of a chat, and you stopped spamming. Until a couple of weeks ago when you started again, which I just kind of ignore and say we'll chat about it on Tuesday, because you need the connection. You need.
I do. I can't do all this for I'm not getting any feedback from you guys, and I'm not getting any feedback from him. So if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, did it really fall? So I'm the tree. So I need to know someone saw me fall.
So we're progressing on that. But I mean, I've learned to be a bit more tolerant. I will say that, if that's a compliment.
Here's the best compliment I can put up with you. I've learned you've improved much. That's the best line of you.
Well, you still can't put the microphone together. And we're still waiting for YouTube. Mate, I tell you,
that's gold.
Next year, you'll be full of compliments. You know, I can't give compliments if there's nothing. I'm not saying there's nothing there. I mean, we've had some great debates. Oh, here's your compliment.
Here's your compliment. You've made me more tolerant.
You like that? I didn't think that was a funny thing.
It is.
You have made me more tolerant. I've had to be more tolerant. I'll say this to you.
No, don't say any bullshit. It's just funny.
I will say this to you.
Oh, I'm crying.
Your discussions, your analysis of a movie has improved hell of a lot. Jesus Christ, you're crying again.
Oh, that was so funny.
Your analysis of a movie has improved. Anyway, move on. Fuck, you're annoying me. Actually, you're annoying me.
All right, let's go. Out of the gate.
on our last show as well. Give us some good stuff.
Okay, out of the gate, we started with Saltburn. This film, not your Broadway type show, right? This is not a well-known film, but what a film it was. Non-conventional, Barry Keoghan running around that magnificent house with no clothes on.
You're not going to go through every movie, are you?
I'm not, but that was a great way to start the season.
Great film.
Right? Because remember, we did 3 a week, so I'm just going to give you highlights as we trickle through.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was my first introduction for you to Barry Keoghan.
Yeah.
And you'll notice we brought him in for The Killing of a Sacred Deer, and then ultimately The Banshees of Inisherin.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's one of the reasons I wanted you to watch that. So we started actually with Saltburn, which also had who? Rosamund Pike.
Correct.
And she was in
Gone Girl.
Gone Girl.
Yeah, which we're going to put up next year. I think you're right. Then we did Complete Unknown. Bob Dylan. And we did that in front of a live audience, one of our community groups that we sit in front of. So that was exciting. Timothy Chalamet wore the yellow suit in the Oscars. So that was something that he didn't win, but we thought he would win.
127 podcasts.
I'm not going to go through them all. I'm just going to go highlights.
I'm just blown away by how much stuff we've done. I think we should give ourselves a big pat in the back because it's a lot of stuff. It was a lot.
And of the 127 podcasts, week 3.
Oh, come on. We're not going to go through it all.
I'm just going to give you this one. Is the week of the year. Tell me a better 3 films in 1 week than Green Book, Training Day, and The Shining. Boom. Beat that 3.
It's a great week.
That's a great week. And then we had our first big guest of the year. Who was our first big guest?
Well, first of all, we had Heat with Simon. And then if you were talking celebrities...
I'm talking big guests.
Pia Miranda was actually sitting right in front of us.
She was. Pia Miranda, she won Survivor, $500,000.
Pia, she was so gracious to come on. And I tell you what, she was just the most charming, lovely, gracious guest you could have. I mean, who are we?
We were jumping off air. We were jumping and hugging her in the other room
after she left.
We just met a great lady. She's wonderful. Bring the wine. She's good company. If you know, you know with what I'm saying there.
Yep.
Then we went to the darkest hour and then Jewel. Now we're about mid-May. Call it about May. And what happened with Jewel, Robbie?
So Jewel, Duel, is one of Steven Spielberg's first films. It is incredibly influential in the art of filmmaking. It started what would you call it? It started the precedent of not seeing monsters that are attacking you or people that are attacking you. It hides the protagonist. So follow Jaws, for example. You never see Jaws, and Psycho. You never see the killer. All these kind of unknown monsters. So I wanted Ron to watch it. I wanted him to see the first movie and how it all started. And then we'd have a really lovely, intelligent debate about Jewel and how it progressed on further. Woo!
Well, we had a debate, all right. Oh, that was diabolically bad. We won't go back over it. Go and have a listen to Jewel. It nearly tore the two of us apart. We genuinely argued after the show. I left the studio. We weren't talking. And we had the Jewel aftermath where we sort of evaluated what we went through, and we probably educated me a little bit about being more tolerant. Like you've learnt your tolerance, I had to learn tolerance about the film.
Tolerant of me, or just an understanding of how to analyse a film, which is what I was saying to you afterwards.
Not
it's
how
not
to
just
analyse a film, to be more tolerant, and then how to analyse. You've got to be willing to at least look. And I probably wasn't willing even to look.
And you're a movie podcast host. This is what you weren't getting. Fair?
First time you've ever said that about me. Normally I've been downgraded to, Skip Boy or something like that. But yep, I agree.
Panel operator. Well, even I do that.
I'm just having a look here. Then we did The Social Network, and then we had Saul with Invictus. Pia came on and did.
Well, we'll come back to our guests. Okay,
Okay.
Okay, you're actually boring me with all the individual shows. I don't know if anyone else will find the same.
It's our own product.
I want to bundle it all up. I'm going to tell you some shows with good stories. Okay, because we've started getting a bit more conversational. And another reason we pumped out 127 shows is because we banked up months worth in advance. And some of these were the original or shows that we'd started in the first year. 15-minute, very, very quick. Then we became a lot more conversational. So we've got no more old shows to come out. Everything else is new and a bit more conversational. So some shows with good stories. If you're looking to kind of listen to a podcast, here are the ones that I would recommend. Top Gun. Right? I try and get you to role play in Top Gun. You don't know how to fucking role play. It's just a matter. Jewel, we talked about. Hacksaw Ridge. That's where we talk about the excessive texting that you have. Unbelievable. Listen to that one. Ridiculous. The Correspondent.
Don't flip over the Correspondent.
I'm not going to flip over. So I suffered from chronic blushing, okay, as a kid, and I embarrassed myself massively at the screening of The Correspondent, which we went to the Sun Theatre in Yarraville, and Richard Roxburgh was there, and Kriv Sanders, the director, was there, and actually Peter Gresta himself was there. This is about a movie about Peter Gresta's imprisonment in Egypt. And I asked us just to listen to the podcast. It is
the show of the year. Not to make fun of him. It's the most serious of topics. We both end up in tears. You won't believe what you're listening to. You'll think it's fake like I did. We lived it, and then he spoke about it. Very brave. Without question, it's the show of the year. Knocks your socks off. Forget the movie, The Correspondent. Go and have a listen. Continue on.
There you go. Brewster's Millions. That was one of our very, very first shows. It's a very quick one, but you talk about the story when you were busted by Tesla. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, you remember that one?
That story, yeah. It's a fun story.
We do a lot of best-ofs this year as well, which I've really enjoyed. So the best of Tom Hanks, you were crying in this
Seems
one.
to be a theme at the moment.
When I was telling you the story about me and my dad on a trip to Japan and how he has never said, I love you, and he can't say I love you to me. That's right. So we had you in tears on that one. I've sung in a couple. Jaws, Colour of Money, Snooker loopy, that's away, me and you and me. I'll show you what I can do with a snooker ball and a snooker cue. Pot the red and screw back for the yellow, green, brown, blue, pink and black. Snooker loopy, that's away, a snooker.
Looper.
Loopy.
And you played the piano for La La Land?
I did. Cape Fear was another fiery one. We started talking about wet dreams.
Oh, God.
And you don't like any of the kind of sexy stuff. Best of Leo, this is where we get into your Repo Man story.
Oh, right.
Right, and I'm still reeling. And the feedback that I've had about you taking some poor guy coins from his coin jar to get you extra $20.
I can see it.
It's unbelievable. And the town I told, a lot of stories here. The town was when I told a story about my son in Thailand and a jet ski accident that happened. And the big man was there as well. So if you want to hear a jet ski incident story that cost me a lot of money, listen to The Town.
And can I tell you, just like they're all true stories, right? This is not put on, right? When I tell a repo story, it's verbatim true. When he tells the Thailand story about the jet ski, we lived it, true story. So we're not trying to just make things up for a few clicks and a few likes. We're putting ourselves out there, so I think that's important. Right?
Well, I'm not sure you had to clarify that, but all right. The Bodyguard.
Some of these things, mate, people won't believe them. Yeah, go on.
Well, the bodyguard is when I threw up at the gym. What I've realised from all this, what I've realised from all this is this. I don't know many people in Melbourne. You're old school, you're 8 generations, as you've told us. You know everybody, thousands and thousands of people. You're a networker, you've got a massive family. So what I say into this microphone here, it goes out and I own every word of it. I've got no problem. But once I've spoken and I've said my bit, it gets packed up, it goes away, and I get on with my job and I get on with my day. And I never, ever, ever get any feedback apart from you when you text me or you tell me occasionally. Until October, November time.
Yeah, recently,
I've had, I would say, only 3 or 4 people, but somebody came up to me and went, "You're the Aussie." And I'm like,
No, you're the Scotsman.
Sorry.
Fucker doesn't even know who he is. You had such a moment then, you're on such a roll.
It's been a long fucking year. It's been a long
Someone
year.
came up to you and said,
"You're the Scotsman."
"Ah, there you go."
And I went, "Yeah." And then we hope thing about how we knew each other or how they knew me. A girl I met at a function comes over to me and she said, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're here." Have we met? Yeah. I think we had actually met, and I do know who it was, but she said, "How are you? Don't tell me. I already know." That was the best line of the year. I'm like, "I listen to you every week. I know what's going on. I know your kids do this and the jet ski thing happened. You were crying over the car." It was amazing. And I got really embarrassed again and bashful and self-conscious because, as I say, it goes out and then I'm done. But people are listening, and when they start to get feedback, I mean, I met these 2 kids in Dan Murphy's, 18, 19 years old, and they're staring at me and they went, You're the Scotsman. Yeah, I listened to you. And it was kids were friends of yours. So I really appreciate it. I mean, if you do recognise me, and this is going to sound so wanky, but if you do, you're welcome to come up and say hello and have a chat about movies. I'd love to.
If you do recognise me.
I know that sounds really, really bad, but it happened. So I'm sure it might happen again, particularly now that we're sticking this onto YouTube. So yeah, well, I mean, we've had some great interviews.
Great interviews. Marty Benson, Ben King, Pia Miranda, Saul, and then obviously so many good films which you can see online on our page. And then we started moving into the best-ofs. Hanks, Denzel, Cruise.
No, it's not that. I want to give our guests the thanks.
Oh no, we'll thank them. We'll thank them at the end.
Oh, you want to do that at the end?
Yeah. Okay. When we wrap. Yeah, we're not yada-ing the thank yous. But the best of Denzel, we did the best of Robin Williams, and then we did...
Oh, these are my favourite shows at the end of the year.
You came up with this. The best of the 70s, best of the 80s, best of the 90s, best of the 2000s, 2010, 2010 to 25, best of all time.
Well, stop. So when we did the final one, which was 2010 to 2025, at the end of that, we've now got 5 or 6 top 10 lists in 5 or 6 shows. And we're always asked, what is your favourite movie? So what we ended up doing was, well, we've collated all this information. We've actually researched and reviewed from the 70s onwards. Let's put out our top 10 list. And we ended up doing 2 lists in our second last week of the show, which would be actually last week now. And it was 2 lists, 2 top 10 lists. The top 10 movies that you would take away to a desert island that you could watch over and over and over again. And the top 10 list that we would recommend to you to watch as movie podcasters, movies that we think stand the test of time. Now, our list ended up a little bit different because he thinks more with his heart and I think maybe a bit more with my head in terms of the acting, the behind the scenes stuff. So they're very, very different, and we don't actually agree a lot in the top 10. So have a listen to that and you will find out what our top 10 and what our number 1 movie of all time is. And I don't want to say what it is.
But we do agree.
What do we? Was your top one as well? Well, we do agree. So that was a good movie. So I really enjoyed these ones. These were fun ones to end the year with as well. Can we talk a little bit about our rating system?
Sure.
So,
what do you want to know?
I want to know. Well, I know that there were. How many movies do you think you gave a 5 out of 5 to?
Movies, probably 1 or 2.
Correct, 2. How many did I give? Roughly
4.
Yeah, exactly 4. So my 5 out of 5s.
Good guesses, weren't they?
Lost in Translation.
Yeah. No.
The Bridge in the River Kwai,
Did you really?
Manchester by the Sea,
Yeah.
and The Sound of Music. I actually gave a 6 out of 5. I'd never seen that movie before, and that was with our guest Elise.
And it's intermission.
Do you know what your two were? Do you remember?
No.
Top Gun
Yep.
and Whiplash.
Did I?
Yeah, and you gave the correspondent a 5 out of 5 for the podcast and a 4.2 for the movie.
I've known you for 20 years, and I'm still shaking on that conversation because it was so out of context, and I just lived it the few days earlier. So yeah, like I said before, it's a wonderful show.
One of our guests, the Doc Andrew, he gave the Intouchables, which is a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen the Intouchables, the French movie, he gave it a 5 out of 5.
He brought us some good films, the Doc. He gave us Strangers on a Train, and the music. The feedback that I was getting was that the music themes, if we're really honest, weren't received that well. It's very hard to follow along the James Bond and music ones. I don't know if we'll bring that back for next season.
Again, never heard that feedback. Thanks for bringing it up on air.
Yeah.
Some of the lowest rated episodes for me was Cape Fear, Moonlight, The Blind Side, Casino. Kind of was a little bit...
Casino.
Actually, that was a mistake. That shouldn't be in there. Escape to Victory.
Rubbish. Someone said to me the other day, I was listening to Chariots, our Chariots show, and Saul was saying Escape to Victory, brilliant film, and you said, yeah, brilliant film. Because they use the same change rooms in Chariots of Fire as they do in Escape to Victory when they get out. Escape to Victory was a terrible film. That was the Pele, Sylvester Stallone soccer movie that he got out and he came back into the camp.
No good.
Don't know how that
Okay,
got
so
on
here's some
the show.
stats. You want some stats?
Yeah.
A stat man.
Don't say 127 shows again. You've said it 3 times.
127.
Yeah.
Well, total guest-based episodes, there were 18 guests out of 127 episodes. That's 14% of our shows were on with guests.
18 guests. It's 13 guests.
We had
but they did two
guests.
shows.
We had the Doc, we had Simon, we had Pia, we had Ben King, Marty Benson, Elise Hurst, Saul, and of course, Jim Meskimen. Average duration of the interviews was about 50 minutes. Our most popular guest episode was Jim Meskimen in episode 67, which had 20,000 views in 24 hours. Amazing. Our most personal guest moment was my son Max in A Bronx Tale, and our most serious guest was Mac Linden, who I didn't mention before, in a recent episode there.
What about Charlie and Superman? I thought Charlie also in Superman was one of our best guests. Youngest guest, Charlie Wolf, at 15. I thought that was impressive. And Elise brought us The Sound of Music, which... Yeah, with intermission. So it just shows you, right, with all the technology, this film didn't get in the best ratings of the last 50 years because it's pre that.
Yeah, well, that's true. And it was
Isn't
one of
that
our favourite
unbelievable?
episodes.
And it's one of our favourite episodes. So
That was a really great interview. Have a listen, first of all, to the interview with Elise, and maybe we'll bring her back on. There has been an update to that interview, and then have a listen to The Sound of Music. We fucking fanboy over that one. Now, I'm going to talk to you about the guest interviews that we've had and what we've done.
am I allowed to name my favourite guest outside our 2 children?
After this.
Okay.
So, we had an interview with Pia Miranda. She was in Looking for Ali Brandy with great energy. We had an Invictus with Saul.
Yep.
We had an interview with Marty Benson, who is the Director of Content at Endemol Shine Australia and produced, I think, 9 seasons of MasterChef. And he was up there picking up actor awards. Phenomenal interview. We also did Inglourious Bastards with him. We interviewed Ben King. Ben King is an on-set and key art photographer, and some of his insights were also amazing. And
He's a deep thinker, Benny.
Yeah, smart guy. Bronx Tale with my son Max, as we talked about. Chariots of Fire with Saul. One of our biggest episodes, actually. It had a huge following. Now,
The music, soundtrack and the story. I know you didn't like it, but Saul and I will love it. I listened to that one the other day. It's a fantastic show.
well, if you listen to Chariots of Fire, I'll tell you why I didn't enjoy that movie now, and why I think it's a classroom movie. Now, talking of popular, we've got a fan favourite, The Doc. Everyone loves The Doc. The Doc loves The Doc. And The Doc loves coming on the show, and we love having him on here. Always brings something new, and he's a very measured and very intelligent movie reviewer, which is a nice change. So, what we do, he brought us the Bond theme tune. He brought us movie themed shoot. I brought it and he was there for it. And he brought us the Intouchables, that French movie we talked about.
Yeah.
Our interview with Jim Meskimen was massive. We've since had over 50,000 people viewing that interview. Jim was brilliant. Jim is the son of Mrs. C from Happy Days, and he's a fantastic impressionist, actor and writer, and artist in his own right. Some of his impressions were brilliant.
And thank you to Jim, because it took us to another level, right? Because we have guests who are our friends, and the doc is a friend that come on, and we play it up a little bit. But Jim Meskimen's a professional. This is what he does for a living. And, we might get 100 views or 200 views or something else. 48,000 views.
48,000!
That's a lot. And if you follow, go on to Jim's page and have a listen to him, how good he is. Listen to his Gene Hackman or his Harrison Ford. He even does a bit of Sean Connery.
Come in, Superman, the door's open.
Yeah, that's right.
That's Gene Hackman.
Rob's a wannabe impressionist.
Superman. I abandoned my boy. I abandoned my child. Yes, I do. I come out with a few. I would like to be an impressionist at some point. Talking of which, there's a few podcasts where we get into accents, and is it okay to do certain accents? You don't like that. You thought it was a bit too much, but have a listen to some of them. I can't remember what they're called. Strangers on a Train with the Doc. He brought us that. We have Apocolypse Now and Network with Simon, which has just come on before this. We had an interview with a Popcorn Podcast.
That's right.
That went out at the beginning of November with Lee and Tim. Thank you so much to them. They are podcasters. They've been going for 5-6 years. They interview all the cast. They get all the interviews because they've been doing it for so long, and they are so good, and they're so polished, and they are genuine and authentic. And listen to that interview, please.
And they're doing modern films, so we're not playing in the same space, but we do circle.
We do. We had an interview with Elise Hurst. Elise is an author and illustrator. We did The Sound of Music, as I mentioned. We had an interview with Pip Mushin. The Mush, who's an Australian actor and director. I listened to that interview. If you want to hear a fantastic story about Pip and Baz Luhrmann with the movie Strictly Ballroom, Pip ended up giving Baz Luhrmann a lift to the airport because Baz was running late, and Pip went to his apartment in St Kilda for an interview, and there was some kind of mix-up, and anyway, Pip...
It's a great story because when you think of Baz Luhrmann, you think of this director, and he'd have people sorting him out, and lifestyles of the rich and famous. But people can still run late to the airport, and people still need to rush to meet the plane.
This was early. And I did brush over the Bronx Tale with my son, Max. We enjoyed having Max on. He was actually quite articulate in A Bronx Tale, one of his favourite movies. And he told us about his story when he was at travelling and he went to the Olympics.
He did go
and your son, Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie.
You tell us about Charlie. Charlie was great.
Charlie's one of our biggest supporters. He likes everything on social media, and he's given me tips and in the background. And he came and watched Superman with us, and then he reviewed the podcast. And what I like most is that he held his own, because I didn't rate that film, and he sat across from two grown men who fancy themselves as movie podcasters, and he explained to us why. It was a good film, so it's great to have Max on. He brought us the door test in
The Bronx Tale.
In The Bronx Tale, thank you. And Superman, it's great. So we'll have more people, more guests on in 2026.
We certainly will. So my best guest, and this is not to offend anyone, Jim Meskimen, ultimate professional, Pia, great lady, Ben King. But the guy I like the most, this is not including the family, right? I can guess, yep.
Is Marty Benson.
Why?
Because he's just a ripper guy. I enjoyed, some people you enjoy just being in their company. I could have listened to Marty all day. He had a professional element that was really interesting, and he had a very down-to-earth element that was also very interesting. I didn't think to myself, I'm listening because I have to. I was listening because I really wanted to. I can imagine being mates with him. He's a good guy. That's Marty. Shout out to you, mate.
And he's a Scotsman.
Yeah. Did you pick that? Would you have picked that?
Well, I picked that for you, yeah.
I just really liked him. He was different. He didn't answer the way I thought. I asked him, if you want to go back and listen to that show, I asked him, what were you thinking a second before they announced, and the winner is for your MasterChef? And anyone else's heart to be pumping, sweat, nervous. He was very calm. He's a professional. He knows how to do his job, that fella.
Talking of nerves, I was nervous speaking to Jim Meskimen. He was, not only because of the calibre of human that he is and his pedigree and growing up in the set of Happy Days, but it was our first live interview over Zoom. And it took a long time, it took a month or two to set this interview up, and it was put off a couple of times. And Jim, if you watch him on his Instagram page, he's got his own setup, so he's polished. We've got no idea what we're doing, but we had to learn, and we learned quickly, which has taken us on this journey now to putting everything on YouTube. So again, thanks to Jim. That was a really fun one. I enjoyed that.
Okay, so I've told you my best podcast of the season. Did you have a best podcast?
I've got a top 10 actually I can give you.
Okay, give us your top 10 because I've given you The Correspondent was the outstanding show.
Okay, well, I'll count you down from my top 10.
Yep.
The Blind Side for The Conversation.
Yeah, I thought you did well on that.
Then Untouchables and The Birdcage.
Yep.
Dog Day Afternoon because I hadn't seen it.
Okay.
That's at number 8. Number 7 is Jewel just because...
But you're talking the podcast, not the film, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Just the podcast.
Yep.
Jewel, really entertaining, and... You know, I probably went a bit too hard on you, but, you know, you gave me the shits.
Yeah.
Top Gun, we were really enthusiastic about that one.
Yeah, we were. That was like a Rocky. That's when Rambo, I think Rambo was the first time we were like, we just love it. Forget the podcast, just enjoy it.
We just met, shout out to Nathan, actually, who we met recently. He just went to Philadelphia,
That's
just
right.
ran up the steps. So
That's
we'll
right.
probably have Nathan on, maybe we'll redo Rocky.
Yep.
The Shining, because I just love The Shining. It's one of my favourite films.
Yes.
Jaws, another classic.
Because you get to sing your song.
Number 3 was Lost in Translation. Surprisingly, such a simple film, but an intelligent, emotional, beautiful film.
We have a good
Recommend it.
discussion for that one.
We do.
Okay.
Number 2 is the best of the decades that we did in our final top 10. So these last 6 shows that we did just before this show, I recommend listening to. And my favourite, I'm going to say movie and discussion because I was so surprised, and it took me on to Lawrence of Arabia, and it took me on to the movie Frozen and Wicked, which I would not normally watch, is The Sound of Music with Elise. That was my favourite podcast and show.
And yeah, that leads me to the next question. What was the best film we did this season?
Well, for me, I'm saying The Sound of Music because I'd never seen it. I'm not into that kind of movie, or so I thought, but it just blew me away. It really, I gave it a 6. I gave it a 6 out of 5.
Yeah.
What was yours?
Mine was Giuseppe Conlon. This was In the Name of the Father.
My father is an innocent man.
Yeah. So this is a story of the Guildford Four. I've loved it my whole life. I loved it as a kid. I loved it as an adult. Injustice plays a part in my soul, I reckon, and I think it does for you as well. Wow. I can't stand it if people are wronged and are treated badly.
Well, I'm looking forward to next year because we have a movie coming out about table tennis with Timothy Chalamet. And as anyone knows about my podcast partner here, he is very close to being an Olympic champion table tennis player. He got very, very close indeed.
So next season, we want to talk about next season?
Yes.
I've just scribbled here, we're going to have more socials, different engagement with you. We want more polls, new footage, so we're filming now. We're going to have a bit more fun, a bit more debate, a few more best-ofs, a bit more analysis.
So we're not going to give everything away. There'll be a couple of things we're changing up in the format that we present to you in and how we do that. So in terms of the audio side of things on the podcast. So if you're in for the ride, come along. We're back in February the 1st or February the 6th, whichever the first Saturday is of February.
Yeah.
We will be back. Any plans over the break?
Well, I was just going to say, and we're going to do more live shows, right? We're starting to get asked more for live shows. So if you want us in, book us in and we'll come and mediate
live shows.
Shows.
And our blooper reels, which we do every year, will be going up. We've got 3 blooper reels this year, and mainly of you.
He's funny.
And mess ups.
Yeah, you got to be brave to sit here on the couch with this guy's a master at it. Anything over summer? Enjoy and relax and work hard, and then relax in the sunshine. I love the heat.
You love the heat. Same. No, I mean you wait all year to get back into summer, so hopefully I'll be around here for a while. Now that the kids are old and not at school, if we do go away, it probably won't be till next February, March, when the rest of the kids are back at school and things are a bit cheaper.
Yeah, you're an empty nester almost.
So
the kids will be gone soon from your house.
Oh yeah, I know. So to finish up,
okay,
I would say thank you to you. It has been a journey this year. Genuinely, I will say to you, thanks for putting up with me. I'm not
a journey. That's another way of saying it's been a struggle.
It's been a journey. I know I'm not the easiest guy to deal with at times, just in terms of my expectations of things, and I don't have time for people that can't get things right. You know, after being taught and learned, and I'm not here to teach you all this stuff, but you've taught me patience and tolerance, and I'm trying to learn with that. But I think I have to say that 127 episodes is a ridiculous amount of work and content that we both have to prepare for, and we both prepare every week the same.
Yeah.
So thank you to you for sticking with it, for putting up with me. I think you've done, without being sounding patronizing, I think you've done brilliant. I think your trajectory in terms of having discussions about movies has gone way higher than obviously at the start of the year, and I'm really looking forward to season 3.
Mate, I love you. I wouldn't spend this much time with any other human if I didn't enjoy your company. So what turned out to be a fun hobby, sitting around talking about Rocky 3 years ago, we're 3 seasons in, well, 2.5, 1 rehearsed season, 2 real seasons. That's
Still
come out.
mumbles his way through.
Yeah, that's
His 15% that he just earned of the podcast is back to 10.
So look, I like I said, I love it. I enjoy your company. I love your company. I love talking about movies. I'm watching 100 films I would never have watched. I would never have watched these films. So go back, go through the list. There's some incredible films there. If you don't even listen to our podcast, go and watch the films, and then you'll start to realise he's got some wonderful tips. The things I give you are more mainstream. He gives you these beauties, and they are. That's filmmaking is a real treat. You know, people talk about I eat for pleasure. I love food. I love going to good restaurants. I'm telling you, you have a hard day's work, watch a film, takes you away. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I love it.
There you go. Great way to finish. All right. Look, to all the listeners, viewers, thank you very much for putting up with us and sticking with us through the journey. We really appreciate it. We welcome feedback, commentary, anything you want. Thank you very much to you. Thank you very much to our guests. Thanks again to you, Rowan. Have a great end of year, and we shall see you all beginning of February.
I think that's it for us. But for now, thanks for listening.
Until next time.